All right, so today we're looking at a 2008 Infiniti G37, and we're going to see if we can change out this alternator because I think the alternator's gone bad. Step one on the list, we got to clear the way so we can get this big bolt out, which means taking the radiator fans off. But to do that, we got to clear a little bit out. So we got to get the reservoir off. Looks like the air boxes have to come out. And I think this will have to come off because there's some clips for the wires. You need to be able to access them from the back there. So we'll start with the air boxes. So all we do is get these loose. Should just be a couple bolts. So we'll loosen these up. And we need to get the boot loose. We've got the boot out. See if we can grab a hold of this connector. See if we can get our mass airflow connector up. There we go. And it's held on with a little clip. Just clips in the box. Just unclip that. And we'll take these screws off. And as always, we're going to bag the screws. Alright, so there shouldn't be much else holding this on. So I think it's just got a little thing that sits in the bottom. I believe you just raise up on it. There we go. Now we just need to get it loose from its intake up here. Repeat for the other side. There's the second air box. Alright, so next on the list, we can take the water bottle off. That'll give us a little more room. For the water bottle, you just have to take the little hose clip loose, pull the hose pipe off. This is your drain line, so pull him loose. I'll let the little drain line kind of hang there. And then you got a couple more 10 millimeters. Let's see, his water bottle will come up. All right. And out comes the reservoir. Now we got a little bit of room. We can start seeing down in there. But the problem is, there's just not a lot of clearance between the alternator down at the bottom and these fans. So, the fans are pretty clear right now. Looks like, other than these little clips that hold it on here, there's not any reason to take this off. We can do everything from just this side over here. Now that we got the bottle out of the way, looks like we need to try to get these fans out. So the harness to the fans comes down to the center. So that's going to disconnect right in the middle here. Let's see if we can slide the electrical clip out. There we go. So you get that off by just putting the screwdriver right under that tab right there and sliding backwards. So we got our clip off. It comes down. Now we just need to get these clips off of here. So let's pull those loose. This one's going to go with the fan. Should give us enough room that we can raise the fan up. So we'll take the fan loose with these two bolts right here. But looks like this pipe's in the way to raise the fan up. So we're going to have to take the coolant line loose. So let's go ahead and let the pressure off the coolant line. Okay. Lose a little bit. Won't forget to tighten that back up. So to get the hose off, all we do is raise up on the little clip that's right here.
pull the clip up, give it a little twist to kind of break it free. So we just slip a screwdriver in behind it. There we go. We lost a little more coolant. We got our hose out of the way. Now we just need to get something to tie this hose up so we don't continue to lose coolant. And now we're back to the 10 millimeters. What we want to do is take these two 10 millimeters loose on the fan. About all that holds that fan in. So now we're just going to try to raise up on the fan. There we go. So the only thing holding the fan now is just the wiring loom. So we just need to get a couple of these clips loose and we should be able to get the fan out of the way. And the only thing left is the big connector. Nissan and their strange connectors. These little ratchet connectors that they use. Well, so there's that connector. He's kind of tough. You have to actually push right here and get that to disconnect. So now we got the harness out of the way. And we can ease our fans out. And finally, from the top, you can see the alternator. Alright, so everything's done up top, except for now, we want to go ahead and take the belt off. What we want to do is come in here on the tensioner, and there's a 1/2 inch drive right here. And so what you do is tip the tensioner, and then you can pop the belts free, noting the direction of your belts. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And then you can put a pin in here that will hold this tensioner up for you, or you can just let it go free, but we'll pin it. And that's got that tensioner held in place. Okay, so everything's ready to go. You can change the belt out if you wanted to right now. We don't have any issues. Doesn't sound like any of the idlers are bad. So now we're ready to head to the bottom. Alright, so we made it to the bottom. Now we just got to gain access to the alternator, which means we got to take the cover rock shield off. So here sits the alternator. Now at this point you got to make sure you got your battery disconnected because you're getting into the wiring portion. So what we want to do is disconnect the battery and then we will continue with taking this alternator off. Okay, so it looks like right past the filter there, if you look up inside of there, so right there is the electrical connector and right here is the main power coming into the alternator. So disconnect those two and then we'll work our way back to the front, which is the bolts. In the front basically you have this one for the bracket and then this one right here for the bracket, and then there's a bolt up top up here. I get it. There's a bolt right up top up there that holds it in, and that's the one that runs into the fan. So we'll take all those loose and we should be able to pull this alternator out of there. So I'll go ahead and disconnect the electrical connectors in the back, and then we'll set the camera back up and we'll drop this alternator out. Okay, so we just reach up in here and we pinch that electrical connector. Give it a little pinch on the side, you'll feel it, and it pops loose. So we got the electrical connector off. Now we just need to take the power loose, and it's looking kind of like a 12 or 14 millimeter. Got a rubber boot over the top, but what you can do to get access to the nut is take that rubber boot and turn it inside out, so kind of make it fold over on itself. There we go. All right, so we got our back done. Now we can move to the front. We'll start with the bottom bracket, 12 millimeters. A little bit longer. Okay, so now our bracket's free. If we wanted to, we can pull some of this out of the way. That goes to these connectors right here, just so we don't hurt the wiring harness. So there's a couple of sensors right here. Get them popped loose. We'll just get them out of the way. Because when this alternator comes down, he's pretty heavy. Okay, so these were the two connectors that were at the bottom. They're not the same size, so we don't have to worry about mixing them up. Let's just get them up above the alternator there. Now the alternator's got a good path to come down. Okay, so up top, looks like we got a 14. And we'll see if this is all that holds it on there. All right, so out comes the big bolt, and there's not much left but to wiggle that alternator down. And it's sliding down. And there we go. So, good thing we got all those connectors out of the way, because as it comes down, he's pretty heavy. So we got to navigate him out of there, because it's got a bracket connected to the back of it. Still a bracket connected to the back. Why they go to this much trouble to put that bracket on that alternator that's behind me. Alright, so there was a wire clip in there too. So when I pull it out, I'll show you what all I had to disconnect inside of there. Now maybe it'll drop out. Alright, so it's freed up. Yeah, it did have a little bracket on the back of it. Get this out of it. So let's see if we can clear that hose right there. And maybe we can push it right out of this little corner hole right here. There we go. Out comes an alternator. Okay, so what I was fighting with is this connector, or this clip right here that held the wire in, and then also the wire was clipped here. So up inside of there I was fighting to try to get all of that loose from the back. So the option would be to disconnect the bracket back here, but I don't know if you could access it. But there we go. There's how you get an alternator out. So right here you can see, probably, you can see some of the harness. This was the bottom part. And then right up here is the clip that goes to the alternator. And then right back here is the clip for the electrical. So there's how you do an alternator on a 2008 Infiniti G37. Well, thanks for watching.